Hi Libra, hope you're doing well. This is Naveen Ferguson. You've reached the channel. Okay, so we're going to be doing a reading for you for the 21st of January to the 28th of January. And we're going to cover whatever special message Spirit wants to share and finance. So that's finance and a message other, like I sometimes title it. Okay, this reading will have an extended. So you could find the extended message on my Patreon page, which is patreon.com/Naveen Ferguson. And the link is in the description box below. Please feel free to like, share, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon so that you are notified when I put out more videos. Okay, so Libra, let me just explain what's happening here. We have on this side the angel, the other message or the significant message Spirit, the universe will cooperate with me to share with you, which you may need to know. Okay, so this is message, clarifier, angel message, clarifier for this side. And on this side, we have the finance, okay, for the 21st to the 28th. So finance message, clarifier, angel message, and clarifier, okay? Okay, so let's begin. Libra. Okay. So, wow, Libra, there's you got the Ace of Cups. So it seems like there may be a lot of emotional dynamics happening with you. I sense for some of you might be a significant other that may be introducing themselves to you, or you encountering them. I sense that's for some of you. Probably not, I'm not necessarily feeling the majority. I do sense that that is for a niche group of you. So you may encounter a love interest. But for the majority of you, what I'm sensing is more of a emotional time. So that could be a passionate time, either with yourself. Some of you may be taking some pampering time, some alone time, some time just to recover your strength, to love on yourself. Some of you with the emotions is like feeling fulfillment. You know what I mean? It's like with either in work or family or however you gain fulfillment. There are certain emotional structures that are going to be basically to the forefront, to more present in that time. It's saying that some of you, I'm sensing some of you might be experience. I'm not trying to get say anything ill or negative. I pray that everything is positive on my channel. But sometimes depression is, one would consider, the dark night of the soul sometimes and stuff like that. And sometimes we have to go through those dark times in order to see certain things that may have been deep rooted, very hidden. I'm definitely seeing more of a darker cup shadow happening in that regard. So some of you may be experiencing a level of there's certain reminiscence that may have triggered certain depressions, and you're just going through some heavy emotions at that time. So it's clearly a grouping of different groupings of you. But the point is, the extra message in this is that you will be going through more of an emotional time in your feelings. Which may be a bit unusual for you because, you're Libra air sign. So more often than not, you're a bit more in the logical mind, in your literal mind, not necessarily in the heart. Okay, so yeah. Spirit is saying take a card from the top of the deck. Okay, excellent. You see this? The 9 of Cups. So for some of you, like I said, there will be someone coming in, almost like a wish fulfillment for a niche group of you, when it comes to possible love interests. But for the majority of you, it's more of a loving yourself, getting your free time, spending time with certain individuals that really fulfill you, and or you get a love affair with a project or work or whatever that activity, it's just you're really in your feelings in that. And then for a small grouping of you, Spirit is saying take another card. Yeah, that's what I was feeling. For a small grouping of you, you're going to get the Six of Swords. So some of you are going to really go into your mind thinking of certain things that kind of hurt you in a certain way, okay, which is going to trigger those deep feelings, okay. It's going to create for a very small amount of you a certain level of depression-ish, but you're going to be moving away from those feelings. So remember, like I said earlier, it's like sometimes the dark night of the soul, one would say, sometimes it comes to reveal certain things to us sometimes that are in our subconscious. And that's what's happening for a very small grouping of you, Libra. You're going to be realizing certain things logically. And you see the boat with the Six of Swords is on the water. That's all emotion. And she's going to a better emotional place, a more calmer, peaceful destination. Okay? It's in the moon, it's in the feelings, the intuition, a lot of blues in that. Okay? So these would be the more or less the main groupings of what I'm feeling. So you have everything dealing with emotions. Some are more positive than others, but that is definitely it's clearly an evident understanding that in the time of what do you call it, January 21st to the 28th, Libra, expect to be a bit more in your feelings, as it were. Well, I'm spending a lot of time on that. Spirit is also telling me that for some of you as well are in a relationship or in a connection. It doesn't have to be necessarily a full-on relationship. It could be the growing dynamics towards it. And Spirit is saying that some of you aren't necessarily getting a level of reciprocation that you give. You don't necessarily get it back, and it's kind of hurtful. And it could just be how the other people or the other person is, and they may not even be aware that the love language in that regard is not being reciprocated, or maybe they're not able to, or maybe they're struggling going through certain things. Perhaps in the extended message we can touch back on that and see what could be happening there, if I really need to go into it, because sometimes I literally right now I see certain things, but I'm also seeing a level of hindrance whereby sometimes the universe doesn't want me to reveal too much, because we all go through pathways, and if I hinder your walk, then you will never discover, and never come to certain conclusions on your own, and never fortify dynamics internally and externally within yourself that you need to grow into, you need to experience. But if it comes back to me in the extended, then we'll touch on it. But I just thought I'd say that, because just by saying it, you can also start thinking in your mind how you might address it. And that will resonate for the few that it resonates with. So, with the clarification, with the first part of the message, which is like a huge banger, basically, we have the clarification of, the 10 of Cups. Just so much emotions. Cups on water, with a lot of mind games, with a lot of reflecting, and cups on cups. Just a lot of emotions, Libra, a lot of emotions. So the 10 of Cups is definitely the and it makes perfect sense. This is the clarification. This is what you want. You want a peaceful life, a peaceful home, a peaceful job, a peaceful project with people and all that kind of stuff. You want to be in harmony and sync with yourself. You want to enter where you live with a sense of fulfillment, a sense of peace, a sense of gratitude, a sense of purpose, a sense of worth, and the 10 of Cups. This is literally why you're going to be going through these emotional things. Certain things are being elevated. With the Ace of Cups, certain things are being revealed in a very positive way, and certain things are being looked over and adjustments being made so that you do find and go towards this 10 of Cups. So this is honestly a what would I say? This is a encouragement to continue going, because if you go through these, if you allow the emotions, like I said, it's not necessarily a bad thing with negative emotions or positive in certain respects. It's how you deal with it, how your perception of it, how are you going to transmute it, how are you going to use it, And if you go through those flows, if you recognize those flows, whether the positive dynamics of a love interest, whether a cooperation and fulfillment of a grouping of people, whether it's finally taking a moment to clear out various things in your life and just start pampering yourself, making yourself feel good, because it's probably a while since you took care of you, or whether it's reflecting on certain things that just are not going your way right now, and it's like, what, I need to move to a better place because I need a better peace of mind, a better heartbeat, as it were. If you take all those things into account, you will find this 10 of Cups. You will get to that peaceful place. Okay, so let's continue on with the message. Yeah, look at that. And this right here is definitely speaking towards the depression dynamics of certain people that were happening with the 6 of Swords. Because honestly, when it comes to the groupings where it's more positive, it's not too much more to say on that. You got, I believe you got the point, and you'll be able to grow from that. But to you who are leaving certain situations that are really hurting you, you're like, I'm done. And you're going to be making strides to never go back in that relational aspect again, or not allowing certain people to treat you in certain ways as they have. Again, it doesn't necessarily have to be a relationship. It could be at your work, it could be in your family, whatever. The point is, you're coming to a conclusion right here with the 6 of Swords, whereby you go into the 10 of Swords post haste in that reflection, and you're just going to stop the abuse. You're going to stop the madness in your life because you want better for yourself. That definitely corresponds with the whole emotional dynamic that's going on. You want that peace, and sometimes you need to put a certain thought process or strategy towards it. Let's see the clarification for the 10 of Swords. Yeah, look at that. The Queen of Swords. It's literally what I was saying. This is where you're going into with that. You will not be treated any type of way again. You have the Ace of Swords right there in your hand. You see through... I'm sensing some of you are actually in a situation, and you need to speak up in certain respects. And I also sense that some of you have since past that situation. It's just that it still plagues your mind. Okay, but in any case, you can either speak to yourself or speak to the other people involved, and you see through the nonsense. You're no longer blind. You see the truth of it all, and you're making a stance to say, this is how I want to be treated, this is how I see myself. If you cannot get on board in this, then we have to cut ties. So some of you are doing that, and some of you are just leaving. Honestly, some of you are just leaving and probably not going to say much. You're just going to say, you know what, it isn't working, and you're just out. So you're entering a stage of worth, of clarity, of focus on yourself, of loving yourself. That's interesting, because it's like, yeah, it's like an emotional thing, but we have the Swords is like a determination, like a focus on your mind, your heart, everything that you are, realizing your worth and your quality, what you bring to the table, and you deserve more. Okay? It's an interesting connection of mind and heart in this. So the angel message for this Libra, yeah, look at that. And this is definitely dealing more on those who may be going through a bit of the depressional depression type dynamics or the critical thinking type dynamics. You have the Nine of Swords. Yes, there is. Oh, yes. Spirit is also clarifying with me. It's not just the depression with the Nine of Swords. It's also the people who are getting the love interest and everything as well, because there are certain anxieties that may come on you at this time when certain love interests or certain dreams, as it were, starts manifesting during this time. May make you second guess and ask you, is this even real, or is this just another setup to hurt me again? So Spirit is saying it's right for you to feel that way because your history has said certain things, you've noticed certain things, all the kind of stuff. So that's all well and good, but don't allow those thoughts to plague you and keep you up at night. Instead, Spirit is saying, of course, and I know you've heard this before, just continue to be your authentic self, do your part, and you'll notice what you need to notice to make the decisions going forward. Trust yourself and trust that the universe will do its part. A lot of you are not allowing yourself to be taken advantage of again. Okay? So even though those past fears may be there, they are only there if you allow them to be there. You don't need to bring that with you. You're going away from that. Remember, with the Six of Swords over here, you're going away from that. Okay? These are plaguing dynamics in your mind from the past. Don't allow it to dictate your future. Okay? And that goes for you too, who are also going through a little bit of a depression. Do your best not to allow those anxieties to hold you back from a more happier movement forward. Clarification for the Nine of Swords. Yeah, look at that. The Six of Pentacles. When you weigh the quality and worth of people in your life, when you weigh what you bring to the table and what other people bring to the table, some people have their hands out and some people are taking, or giving. Just depends on the situation. Weigh it out practically is what's coming across with the Six of Pentacles. You have the tangible evidence. You don't actually have to think too hard on it, Spirit is saying. You, Libra, have the tangible evidence in your archive, as it were. You know who had your back. You know who was shady. You know who was there during the bad times, the good times. You know the people you're given the benefit of the doubt and how they took advantage and how you may keep allowing certain things to happen, but now you need to stop. Okay? Because you're going towards your happiness. And a lot of those things does create an emotional upheaval of many things, as it were. Okay? But you have all of the evidence, all of the resources in order to come to a conclusion that's beneficial for you moving forward. Okay? So this emotional time between the 27th, is it 27th? Oh, sorry, was it? Yeah? Did I say 27th? Okay, the 21st, sorry, the 21st to the 28th. Yeah, this emotional time especially. I wonder if there's any planets going through something. I need to learn some more of that stuff because that could probably correlate with what's happening here. But whatever the emotional time is right here, this is the major advice over all of this. Okay, Libra? So let's take a look at your finances. Wow, okay, Spirit said, take these two cards together to start the finance. Okay, that makes sense. Wow, I could see why Spirit said that. Okay, so Libra, your finances between the 21st of January to the 28th on average. Spirit is saying some of you, your finances may be affected in certain respects even unto the 29th, the 30th, some of you the 31st. Okay, Five of Wands and the High Priestess. So a lot of you, and it's coming across very in a simple way, your finances is affected by your work, whatever you do for a living, basically. I'm sensing a lot of tiredness in some of you. I'm sensing a lot of certain levels of non-cooperation by other people you may work with, and some of it is like uncooperative in a indirect way. Like you may not necessarily work with certain people, but because they are lacking or lagging, it is affecting your work dynamics as well in certain respects. And it may not even be work people; it could even be clients. You know, clients canceling or something like that. And also, I'm drawn back to the fight in yourself. I sense for a few of you Leo, sorry, a few of you Libra, there is a certain level of unhappiness in what you're doing to a certain extent, and you're grappling, you're wrestling within yourself. Some of you, it's the way things are done, and you really want things to change. It's like you like your employment of whatever that may be. Some of you may have your own business or something like that. Some of you may work for an entity you do want to work for, but there are certain processes that kind of irk you and does not make the time as good as you know it can be. And some of you just don't want to work where you are. So there's a lot of, remember, this is a general thing for a lot of Libras, and that's what's coming across. But in those conflicting natures, Spirit is saying, yes, in your finances, your work, certain things are going to be may affect your finances, or in a way where you see it can affect your finances, whether that's possibly causing you to spend more or lose certain clients in certain respects, or limiting time or deadlines and stuff like that. But Spirit is saying this would be the time to use more of your discernment rather than a logistical thought process. Okay? Because Spirit is saying not only you are feeling certain pressures, certain individuals within this who may seem like the problem are also going through certain things in their life too. Spirit is saying to avoid certain blow-ups, as it were, certain breakdowns for other people and certain things like that, certain chaotic arguments, whatever, you must use your intuition to address the situations and people in a personal, very empathetic manner. Do not approach everyone at that in this time that we're talking about in a blanketed, almost like HR policy way, where everybody's almost treated basically the same. In a certain respect, take everybody as an individual in whatever capacity is happening there. Okay, that's coming across as advice in your finances and the process of it. So yeah, and Spirit is saying, of course, we're going to take these two for the clarifier of those two which became one. And we have, yeah, look at that. Makes perfect sense. So look at this. it lines up. So the Knight of Cups, okay? The Knight of Cups was basically under the Five of Wands. And it's basically saying, and this is very simple for your finances, it's literally talking about, okay, so you're not necessarily like gaining like extra finances or something like that. You're working on the stability of your day-to-day finances, okay? To avoid certain things and stuff like that. So the Knight of Cups is basically saying when these things approach, these conflicts, approach them with love swiftly. Do not lag, okay? Do not become indifferent. You must address the situation with love swiftly. And with the Ace of Wands right underneath the the High Priestess, when you're using your intuition to speak to this, you must show a level of compassion. So a compassion in your body language and everything. So it's not just your words and your heart in the matter. It's the way you approach it with your body, the way your whole essence is. They have to be in sync in a sincere way. And the universe is going to help like mitigate certain like actionable changes in order to help you do this. When you feel an unction to the Ace of Wands is coming across, it's like when you're feeling Okay, for example, I don't know if some of you may just randomly think of, you may have good rapport with people you work around, and then you were coming in the office or something like that, and you brought an extra cup of what do you call it, Starbucks coffee for someone who you think needs it. This is what this Ace of Wands is saying. So the Knight of Cups is like, when the situation happens, it's like, address things with love, yes, but the Ace of Wands is taking more of a very strong, tangible approach on it, body language approach on it. Do something with the inspired action of how you think this might help someone in their overall day or in their overall week. But of course, being careful not to, I know it's an emotional time. I think it's probably not going to be just for you, Libra, but you don't want anyone to miscommunicate, like take anything from miscommunication. Okay, you're just being kind, and you wanted to be endearing and help one another, Spirit saying take a card. Yeah, look at that, the Knight of Swords. So, and I'm feeling is pairing a bit more with the Ace of Wands. So it's like, if you do certain things that are actionable to help people, make sure that it's professional, okay? Make sure it's understood within almost very subtly, that is professional, that it does not come across as a love interest, as it were, okay? Because people will be vulnerable in a very emotional time, okay? So it seems to be a lot of emotions is happening, okay? So let's see the, what do you call it? The angel message for the finance part for you, Libra. Yep, we have the Two of Cups. So again, when it comes to the finances, Libra, it's really about maintaining a flow and structure. And the Two of Cups is coming up, and I'm sensing for some of you, Libra, there will be probably another person on your side dealing with the same thing that you can also share with, and they can share with you. You can build and use energy from one another to support one another through this emotional time. So that's for, I think that's like for half of you. But then the next side, then the next half of you basically is in this emotional time. You need to, how would I put this? It's like allowing your love, more of a love side, to really like almost like transform into a next side of you, almost like a next side of the coin, as it were. So from a bit more logical side, being into the more emotional side to deal with the emotional translation of it all, okay? So that your finances and other people's finances, the whole working spectrum over here, is not hit in a negative way. And let's see the, what do you call it, the clarification for the angel message for the finance. Yeah, see, there we go. The King of Pentacles. Makes perfect sense, because notice how you were basically putting out fires, as it were. You were the one basically orchestrating and delegating within a very specific way to deal with the financial aspects of what's going on. That's what the King of Pentacles is doing. Okay, he is delegating the resources, the finances, and speaking to individuals and making sure processes are moving in a certain capacity. He's involved in basically the day-to-day of how best the quality and the running of the system is operating. Making sure the investments are being used accordingly and the needs are also being met. The finances are being balanced and all that kind of stuff. He is orchestrating and making sure that nothing is affecting the bottom line. He has the business, as it were, in order. Okay? So that's the clarification for the Two of Cups. So basically, that's saying that in a nutshell right there, because you're clearly one of the forefront of making sure that the process of whatever the projects, the business, the employment, whatever the structure is with you, you are one of those critical components that make sure things are running smoothly. And to make things run smoothly, most of the time these days, we have to deal with the human capital, the human element, not just in yourself, but others as well. Okay, but this is definitely a strong advice in your financial spectrum and how to deal with that at that time. Okay, so Libra, I really do hope that this has helped you. We're going to now take it to the extended, which you will find at patreon.com/Naveen Ferguson. The link is in the description box below. Please remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon, and yeah, I wish you all the best. Bye.